If you love pizza and just feel like having it another way, well, let me put you on to these. Today I made some pull apart pizza rolls, and oh my God, so delicious. And when you dip it in that homemade marinara sauce, it is 10 times better. Let me show you how I made these delicious pull apart pizza bites. This is super good, and I know that your kids are going to love this. I'm going to show you how I make the marinara sauce first. In a pot, I'm going to add in some olive oil. Once that heats up, I'm going to add in some diced onion. Mix that for about 5 minutes and adding in some minced garlic. And I'm going to mix that for 1 minute and add in a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. And I'm going to add some dried oregano, some salt, and some pepper. I'm going to mix that and let that come to a simmer. And then I'm going to cover it and let it simmer for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I'm going to add in some basil. I'm using dry, but you can add fresh basil. And that's it. That is how you make a delicious homemade marinara sauce. And now you just want to set this aside and let it slightly cool before you use it. And now let me show you how I make my pizza dough. I'm going to get the yeast mixture ready, and for that you're going to need 1 1/3 cup of warm water. Your water should be between 110 to 115 degrees. If it is not, the yeast is not going to activate it. So make sure it's not hot and it's not cold. It has to be 110 to 115 degrees. To that, I'm going to add 2 1/4 teaspoon of active dry yeast and 1 teaspoon of sugar. Now I'm going to mix this well. Now I'm just going to let it sit from 5 to 10 minutes. We have to let the yeast activate. And now that my yeast is ready, I'm going to throw it here in my stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can do this whole process by hand. And to this, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 3 1/2 cups of regular all-purpose flour. I'm going to use the dough hook for this. And I'm going to mix it on low until it's all mixed in. Now that it's all mixed in, I'm going to continue to knead this on low for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, your dough should look like this. It is slightly sticky, and that is how you want it to get a nice, pliable dough. I'm just going to remove it and put it on my surface, and I'm going to form it into a ball. I'm going to oil a bowl with some olive oil. I'll be placing my dough ball in here. I'm going to cover it with some saran wrap and place it in a warm spot to double its size about 1 hour. After 1 hour, it has doubled its size. Now I'm going to flour my surface, and I'm just going to dump out my dough on here. And with a rolling pin, I'm going to roll it out. This will make about 20 to 25 pizza rolls. So you want to roll it out big enough so that you can get that amount. And with my pizza cutter, I'm just going to start cutting out some squares. And now I have all my squares cut up. Over here, I have some shredded mozzarella cheese and some pepperoni. You can use turkey, but I prefer the pepperoni, but you can definitely use the turkey. And so now I'm going to grab one of these, stretch it out just a little bit, adding the cheese, your pepperoni. I'm going to add 3 slices of pepperoni and then just close it up. And then you're going to want to pinch it right here so it stays closed. Form it into a ball. That's it. And then just continue with the rest of them just like that. And I will probably add some, like 1 jalapeno or 2 to some of these because I love jalapeno. But that's how easy that is. You could also use some cheese that has just been cut into cubes if you want to use that and not the shredded. Either way, they are going to come out super delicious. I have my oven preheating and now I'm going to just add some olive oil to my baking dish and I'm going to start adding my pizza rolls on there. Make sure that you are adding enough oil so that these don't stick to the pan. Going to just spray some olive oil on top and brush it on there. And I'm going to sprinkle it with some garlic powder and some basil. And now these are going to go into the oven, 425 degrees, between 20 to 25 minutes until golden brown. This one is done. This one is nice and golden brown. Smells so good. Some of the cheese came out, and that's fine because sometimes when you wrap them, it seems like it's wrapped up tight, but it really isn't. Either way, they're going to be delicious. I'm going to let these cool for about 5 minutes before I can show you what they actually look like inside. And these are just like super good, super delicious, and it's just a great way of eating pizza just in another form. The kids love it. You'll love it. Everybody loves it. It's a crowd pleaser. Dip it in that marinara sauce, and boy, you are in heaven with these pizza rolls.